Good morning everyone and welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday, September 1st. It is kind of not so great outside. We're going to be heading over to Ryan Pure Function's house to meet up with Mike Bolka, Pat Roel, Tony from Stan Staggered Media, and a few other people. So let's get this trip started. Hope you guys have a great time.
Sometimes when you're here, I can't feel no doubt, 'cause you keep me where the stars are bound. It doesn't really matter, 'cause you're here with me now. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter, 'cause you're here with me now. It doesn't really matter, 'cause I feel so free now.
We have arrived at Ryan's house. We got the Land Cruiser here. It's actually all clean and ready to go. For the first time since I bought it, I've washed it. Ryan has good cleaning detail stuff, so that's why I waited till I was here. It was raining by my house last night and it actually stopped this morning, and when I left my house it was still wet. So I'm glad I didn't wash it last night because I would have been pretty pissed off if it was dirty. All clean and pretty. Paint is sparkling and I'm pretty happy with it. But on that hand, we got Tony, Stan Staggered Media, Supra, looking all fresh and clean. And we got Ryan's Supra as well, which is always looking great. Then we have Ryan's MR2, which never runs and is always on jack stands, of course, because he's always doing something with it. It's either on ugly wheels or it's never running. So hopefully one day it will actually run again. We're gonna let Ryan from Pure Function take the Land Cruiser for a spin. So I'm going to give him the keys to this and let's see how he likes it. I'm not gonna lie though, getting in my own car on the wrong side of the road is actually pretty weird. I sat in it before, but I had to get my glasses and my hat. It's just, I don't know, it's one of those things where I'm like, I can see where people are talking about why it's weird.
All right guys, so I've already started it up here and it's actually really quiet for a diesel. It's really quiet. It's got auto power windows up and down too. 1992, what's good? And I always say this, but the interior of this thing is like minty. Like there's no cracks in the dash. Your steering wheel is not chewed up. The seats aren't chewed up. Like it just, for something so old, I expected it to be worse shape. And this cracks me up too. Look at the size of these, I call them smoker covers, but rain guards. Like they're huge. I just, the whole, everything on this vehicle is just bigger and badder than what you think. And then you got Japanese down here, which you guys can't see right now. So, reverse, now again. Oh, he actually puts the e-brake up in his automatics. This is so creepy right now. I keep forgetting I gotta go to the right, or my left I should say. Try to figure it out. Ooh! It does have that nice turbo whistle though. Ooh! I do like that. Oh, I went to hit the turn signals and they're not there.
Turn signals
Damn
on the
it.
right.
They're on the right hand of the stock and I'm not used to that. All right, there's my first screw up of the day. I did not think of that at all.
It happens.
And I'm just driving down the road Every time I've rode with anyone that has a right-hand drive vehicle, they always ride way too close to the center line, and I'm trying not to do that. Oh man, it's so smooth. I'm blown away how smooth this thing is. I thought for sure with the big 35-inch wheels in this, it'd be bouncing all around, making weird noises. Dude, this thing is mint. I want one. I need one in my life. Now, you did say you're going to be getting an exhaust on this, correct?
Yes.
So, is there a certain size exhaust these guys run? Is it just like American trucks or diesels whenever they run big 4 or 5-inch exhausts on these? Or
so, the way I'm going to go is the guy who did my roll cage and my fuel cell cage on the GTR, he's going to custom make me one. He made my exhaust on the GTR, which is a 3.5-inch straight pipe. Okay. We're gonna inspect and see how big of a straight pipe we can do. Okay. Probably do a 4 or 5-inch if it's possible. If not, we're gonna go with what's the capacity it has down there to make one. So
sure.
It literally starts right where your foot's at on the throttle. It's where the exhaust starts and just goes all the way back. So it's pretty nice and it's easily accessible even from the wheel well. You can just tell right
nice
there.
Then.
But I think the flex pipe has a little bit of a leak because when you accelerate, you can hear there's a little bit of an exhaust leak. So it's perfect. Gotcha. I can actually justify saying, okay, I can do a straight pipe now, and I need it because it's leaking a little bit. So other than that, it's pretty good.
And guys, I am going to probably apologize to them like a million times today because I'm trying to stay over, but I can already see myself veering over to the left some. I can already feel myself doing it. I'm trying not to, but it's hard. Brakes from the factory are a bit undersized. It does have disc brakes the whole way around, which is kind of surprising, but from the factory, it just doesn't have, I guess, enough grip to it, or maybe better pads would help. But I mean, I was putting some serious force to come down from 30 miles an hour to get us to stop right now. So I can't imagine what it's like if you're going 60, 65 and have to slam on the brakes.
It's weird being on the left-hand side of this car. Like, driving it, it's not bad at all, but like sitting on the passenger side, it's kind of like, yo, where's my steering wheel?
Well, for me, I can't reiterate this enough. I'm like scared to death I'm gonna cross that yellow line. I just felt water hit my neck.
It's probably from the visors, because it comes in the car.
Oh, okay, I'm like...
But at the same time, like I said, it's when I drove the car home from Virginia, I had that same issue of like driving over the double yellow. It's been so long since I've driven a right-hand drive vehicle because my GTR was down for so long. So it takes a little getting used to. And you think you're gonna be too far over the fog line, so you kind of compensate by being in the middle, but then you realize with a big car like this, you're over the yellow line, and then people on oncoming traffic are kind of moving over, but it's something you gotta get used to.
Yeah, like I already know this is a big, God, that, I gotta turn the camera back on. But God, like I just get a little bit of gas and
once the turbo kicks in,
dude, you can hear it. I mean, it's, for something, this has a stock intake, stock exhaust, and you can really hear it. I can't wait to see this thing get an open intake on it, and then you go to let off and it gives that great choo-choo noise. That's what I'm looking forward to.
So the thing is that they make the snorkel for this car.
Okay.
The fact that the car just got repainted is something for me that I can't wrap my head around, drilling a hole in that fender.
Dude, don't do it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I don't go, diving in lakes and stuff for me to actually want to have a snorkel.
For sure.
But I heard that actually performance-wise, the car will breathe a lot better and actually perform better. So that's why I'm on the fence about it. But again, I don't want to drill a hole.
I love the way it looks. I don't want to see it go too far with it. Like, that's just my opinion. I love the way it looks right now. Now, but is there a goal with it to go off-roading all the time and do that?
Mild off-roading. So that's why I'm saying I don't think I can justify doing a snorkel because I'm not going to be doing that much off-roading.
Sure.
But the exhaust, I definitely can see myself doing.
Yeah, we got to get this baby rolling cold. It's not America if it's not rolling cold. Now, and I love the fact that this is a diesel, and it's a Toyota. In the US, we've never gotten a Toyota diesel. Everywhere else in the world for the last 40, 45 years, Toyota's been selling diesels from Africa, Europe, Middle East, everywhere it gets them, except the US market and Canadian market. Even in Mexico, Toyota market gets diesels. For some reason, I'm not sure if it's emissions, EPA, whatever it is, we don't get them here. And it's quite frustrating because if they sold a Tundra, or if they sold the Land Cruiser, or any of the SUVs with a diesel, they would sell like hotcakes.
I agree.
Especially with the way the American market's going. I mean, people buy diesels now just to have a diesel. Not because they want the great gas mileage from it, or even to haul anything. But I know if I get any closer to the side, there's tree branches here. And the last thing I want to do is scrape up a brand new painted vehicle. He would probably cry. I would feel really, really bad about it. So we don't want to be doing any of that. Give a little gas here again. You can feel the old 4-speed in it there, like trying to figure out which gear it wanted to go in there. I was trying to give it, again, just a little bit of gas, and it's like, all right, which gear do we want to go in here real quick? It's definitely the funny part of the old 4-speeds because there's just not enough gear there. Where modern vehicles, 6, 7, 8-speed trucks now, it's so much linear and so much smoother because it can figure out which gear it needs to go in. The old 4-speeds, there's such a wide gap. You go from, say, 2,000 RPMs up to 3,500 downshifting, so it's much more brutal of a shift in this, but I think that's why I like it. It's just like old cars and manuals. It has this feedback for you that you really enjoy it. Now, Mikey was also saying that they did offer this in a manual, but it is uber rare, correct?
Yes.
Was that even an option for you, or like, is there?
Well, for me, I had a manual. I've always owned manual cars. The only automatic cars that I've owned was the 2 Grand Cherokees that I've owned in the past.
Gotcha.
And that was the only reason I had those, because you can't get those in a manual either. Yep. So this, you can get it, but it's very rare to import and to find a clean one. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna give up that manual option to get a clean one, and that's what I did. There's honestly no rust on this car, as you guys have seen before we started driving it, and that's what I gave up for. I was like, you know what, to drive a car this big with 35s actually will require a little bit of work to drive a manual. So like, I can enjoy this car, put it in drive, and just go. And if you need to, Amanda can drive, right? Because you drive a manual? And that's another big reason why, is because Amanda's like, if you're gonna get another car, I'd prefer it to be auto so I can drive it too, especially a car like this. Now, if she has to drive in the snow or whatever, she can drive it. Yep. And with manual, she can't. Sure. And she started to learn a little bit, but imagine I gave her a 5-speed manual in this thing. She would panic and like not know where to go.
Yeah. So, I can only imagine how heavy the clutch is. Something like this, trying to roll it with 35s and giving enough gas to get this thing going. Yeah. It would definitely be a huge learning curve. And they even going back from something like this to your GTR, and like the huge difference between the two and how they need to be driven. And the next time you get in the GTR, be like, oh my God, this is so much easier, so much different from what the Land Cruiser is. So it is kind of nice to have that this is an automatic and that's your true race car. The manual, that's something that gives you a ton of feedback. I figured, you know, the GTR with a triple disc in it is going to require enough work to drive manual, so why would I want something else that's going to just require just as, you know, as much work to drive when this is going to be just great. Automatic, get in it, turn the key and go. There is play in the steering wheel, but I think it all comes back in the feedback is from just oversized tires. Yep. If it didn't have those, I bet it would ride like glass, honestly. But that's what happens when you mod any vehicle in any shape, way, or form. You're gonna lose some over here to gain, for your case, some height and some grip when you're off-roading. So it's a give and take kind of situation.
Also, I'll add this, if you ever get a chance, look into the Toyo RTs.
Toyo RTs.
They got 35s, whatever size you want, and like they're a crossbreed between an all-terrain and a mud-terrain. Okay. So it's like just a lot less road noise, a lot more. It's got a really aggressive tread pattern, but it's not as aggressive as a mud tire. So
but you can definitely feel the mud terrains. Like, you can feel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You can definitely feel the roughness and some of the bumps and stuff. When I was trying to take those turns, I'm like, oh, it's got a little bit of wobble in it.
That's the thing. When you go from driving a Supra, for example, or my Jetta when I had it, you kind of take the turn a little aggressive. But when I got in this, I'm like, you could feel the body roll, and I've seen you know, horrible pictures of people flipping their Land Cruisers on a group that I'm on, and you don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean? So at the same time, I'm like taking it easy. It's one of those cars where you just get in and drive. So it's not like you gotta, you know, overcompensate for something or take a turn way too fast, because you know you're gonna flip. So
for sure.
It's great though. I love it.
It does everything else well. As I said, I always give some critique of it and say something bad. Besides that, there's nothing else wrong. Everything works.
I feel the cold air from here. It's cold.
Yeah, I mean, it is nice. Sunroof model too on top of it. One thing that I always laugh, like these cars are so expensive even in Japan, but the Japanese market never uses leather. I never understood that. They don't, like in the US market, leather is so revered or so...
Like they're fully loaded cars. They're either cloth or like this, the velour.
Yeah,
and they don't have leather. It's just, I don't know why they don't, but... I don't like, honestly, personally, I like cloth.
Yeah.
Or for example, this. On leather, it's like in the summer it's too hot, or
it breathes better. You don't get swamp ass with cloth seats. Leather gives you that every time. Dude, the Supra, every time. Going down the cruise, even with AC on, I'm like, this sucks. I can't take this anymore. One more thing, guys, I'm looking up right now because I've been driving, so I'm trying to focus, especially with right-hand drive. This has a built-in real compass. This isn't digital. It has real compass up above. Yep. That's pretty cool.
Elevation. That's insane.
And altimeter, like
how does that work? How does it know what altitude?
Because it's by pressure, I mean, like every other altimeter.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. But guys, on that note, that was a basic. When I get back, I'll go around the exterior a little bit more, try to go over the motor some. But guys, again, thank you, Mikey, for bringing this up today. We're gonna get some more video, more pictures here, but I just wanted to kind of do a quick review and give you guys some feedback on this truck. Buddy, thank you again very much. Again, Stan Stagger Amiga, we got the OG Zilla. I'll link all their stuff down below for you guys. Do me a big favor, go down below, check out the Facebook and Instagram. Also, go check out the Pure Function website. Always new merch. Thank you guys very much, and I will talk to you later.
So we got a Duramax owner driving a right-hand drive turbo diesel Land Cruiser for the first time.
It's definitely different.
And take it around the block and see what he thinks.
can hear the turbo.
Yeah, it's decently quiet. But again, I think when I do a straight pipe on it, it'll be...
You'll hear everything.
Yeah. So what are your first impressions?
It's different, but I love it. It would be hard to get used to being on the right side.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like driving it home from Virginia, when I first got it, it was weird because I haven't driven my GTR in almost 2 years. So I was gravitating towards like the left side of the road, especially on the highway. At one point, actually, it was raining so hard that like I must have hydroplaned a bit, and it drug the signals on the other side. So he did the same thing Ryan did. He did the same thing Ryan did. He hit the windshield wiper stalk by accident instead of the turn signal stalk, which I did. There we go. That's off now. But yeah, it's like I was driving so close to the fog line that I actually was drug into the median, and it was like a slope, and the grass took both of my left wheels, and I was lucky that I was able to, you know, control the vehicle. I brought it back to the highway, and then that really made me realize that, okay, I need to realize like what I was doing again. But other than that, I mean, I love it.
It is. It's really neat. Now, is the green light when turbo?
Yep, when turbo spools, that's the letting you know that it's in boost.
I'll just do a loop around this. Come right back.
It's cool, right?
Yes, it's very cool.
Yeah, it's just funny though, because like people say like, oh, you bought a right-hand drive car because it's such a fad and stuff, but it's like one of those things where I was a 90s kid, and I loved this stuff growing up. Like Skylines and Supras and all that stuff was cool. So like I feel like I'll never own another left-hand drive car again, and I will always want to import a car that I'm looking forward to owning. But still, it's, for the most part, it's awesome.
I catch myself on the yellow line.
And that, you see that mirror down here? See the mirror down there? It's like a little blind spot slash pretty much a line mirror. So when you're driving, you can see if you're on the other side of the line or not. So that helped me a lot too when I started driving the car. Well, that's going to conclude today's video. Ryan got to drive the Land Cruiser, and you got to see another perspective on somebody else that doesn't own the car, and not me talking about how much I love it so much. And here we got both Supras hanging out. Beautiful day out, sun's out, stopped raining, and there's no clouds in the sky for the most part. So I hope you enjoyed the video and you got to see what he had to say about it. All Toyota driveway here, great way to go. So I'll see you guys next time. I'll have some GTR updates for you. I'll be picking up the GTR at some point this coming week. It is like 75% tuned. Just have to touch up the 93 tune before we hit the track night on September 11th. And after that, I'm going to drop it off. We're going to get an E85 tune and tidy that up before the season's over. And then you'll see the real horsepower numbers there. So again, like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. Thank you.